14 games in a row now that LeBlanc has been banned versus JoJo, and they instantly take away the Jinx because the Xayah is banned.
Yeah, and it feels like you're looking for maybe a Nautilus pick here for CoreJJ. I think that is going to be incredibly high priority, but I'm interested to see, do TL want to go early aggressive? Do they want to look more for the scaling options? Things like Volibear are very high prio for Santorin if they want to scrap. If they want to go early, you could look for something like the Nautilus, like the Volibear. J4, another great early game option. And it's going to be interesting to see what kind of a direction they want to take us in.
Ooh. Yeah, and exactly. The key about the J4, so many of those options early on in the game. You can do the level 2 ganks. You can circumvent some of these wards, a lot of these routes, unexpected, and try and get to one of these solo lanes very, very early, especially when you're playing against JoJo, who, like you say, you know is going to play early game runes, is going to play very offensively, past 50%. Towards the Summoner's Rift there, play very aggressively, but EG on their side. Now, the support role has been really crunched on locking in Engage. The Nautilus you mentioned, the Leona has also been highly prized. TK is the premier defensive bottom lane support, but also having a very good lane phase.
Now this is so interesting for EG because traditionally with this type of draft, if you're going with TK, you're saying, okay, well maybe you want to draft Engage from top side, but generally TF wants to pair with a carry from top to be able to actually really heavily play towards that and snowball in a side lane. So I'm curious to see where they are going to get their Engage, or if EG is just going to really go light on it and try to focus more on split push, because TL are very clearly drafting more for 5v5. You have Xayah, you have Corki, mixed damage there, tons and tons of scaling with early game pressure supplemented with that J4.
Also, it's a little bit difficult to pull off Twist of Fate ganks into the Xayah bottom lane. If you have your ultimate available, always going to give you another out. Bjergsen and Team Liquid, though, they feel confident in their scaling. In game 1, opening of a best of 5 here, going with the Corki to try and push the wave early on, just focus on minions, scale up. You can still scale up into being that monster AP poke for later in the game, even though they did nerf the package timings.
And if EG wants to play towards sides, you know, they're going to very likely have to blind pick their top, right? TL have 5th pick here. They can save that for Bwipo, try to get a good matchup for him that he can look to answer. But so far, focusing on Inspired. Lee Sin, Xin has been another big one for him, you know, when J4 is off the table. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to continue putting the pressure on that, where EG, banning the GP makes me think that they are maybe going to go for a tank here, blind. Take a tank, supplement your comp, get that Engage, put impact on something that he's very strong with. So with the GP ban, Ornn is such a smart counter ban because that's really what you're trying to unlock, but you still can go something along the lines of a Scion if you want to fulfill that same role.
Yeah, unless you ban a Sylas, Malphite's got no chance getting picked up here. But if you're looking for like an Engage-based tank where it's going to be long range, it's going to be reliable, like Malphite and Scion, or sorry, Malphite and Ornn are like the two. Scion, you can play around it somewhat. There, you know, there's gameplay options around there, right? But we're on the table here as well. Leona conspicuously still up, so if you want Engage. Yeah, Nautilus actually the big one. That's Core's most played by far. It's triple his second champion there. Looking, I mean, we had the early Karma ban. They want to get rid of enchanters. Renata Glasc gonna be locked in here. It's gonna be Core's first pick of this champion all year.
And Renata is quite good if you're expecting, you know, your opponents to go for some extra hard engage, you know, from the other side of the map as well. We'll see about the blind pick first here from EG, though. Aatrox very popular after the buffs to the sweet spot damage up on top side for blind picking.
And we got to see it last week even as an answer to the Ornn, right? Ornn obviously banned out in this, but a lot of people liking this specifically into tank matchup. So will be the blind Aatrox here for Impact. And now we're going to find out, you know, are they going to get any sort of real hard engage, or is it going to be more about fishing with gold cards here from JoJo? Because the last pick, of course, will be Inspired.
Need themselves a jungler. Is it going to be something fightery? I mean, TF and Kha'Zix will kind of combine for killing someone off. Aatrox, a little bit of, I actually don't mind Nocturne here either, so it's very much about the sides. The two globals showing up.
Yep, double globals here for EG towards the mid stages of the game, looking for those picks. It does put more pressure on trying to get the outer turrets down very early, and Team Liquid already going through some options here to answer if there are multiple globals. The problem is, if you're trying to answer into the team that already has Nocturne, you have to be aware that your communication and timing has to be very quick.
Shen.
As soon as Nocturne ultimates, you have to pop your ultimate or else you won't have time, because there's a small delay between Nocturne ultimate going off and you being locked out of using your own globals.
It's a really interesting draft here. I mean, the last 2 picks here from EG, it feels like TL had a good read. Renata, to me, is one of the best counter-engaged champions in the game. And if your read is that the last 2 picks here are going to be dive, which they were, Aatrox and Nocturne, well, you're now diving into potentially that counter-engage from Renata, throwing the ult out, with the Berserk. And it is incredibly strong against Jinx in particular, who is almost purely auto-attack based. So if you can actually connect with Danny with that ultimate, that can win you a team fight.
I actually love that Evil Geniuses in the first game of this best of 5 are putting a lot of pressure and faith on their young players. Danny to carry these team fights later, but Jojo, the Twisted Fate early on, needs to make some proactive plays. They want to open up this map so they can make those picks, so they can use their globals.
Oh, it's about Inspired. It's about Jojopyun. We'll see if TL have gone for scaling. If it's going to be enough for them in the later team fights, because certainly EG looking to play it aggressively. They are the ones who have to push in and get stuff done. Otherwise, I mean, good luck team fighting on a Nocturne and an Aatrox. You're gonna get peeled off. So do EG have it, or do TL? Let's hear it. It is time for Summoner's Rift. It's time for Game 1. Team Liquid and Evil Geniuses. TL at side choice, they picked red. EG came out swinging, they got double globals. Let's see what they can do.
I'm already so excited for Game 1 here. Bwipo with the Ignite on Shen, so he is playing to try to kill the Aatrox. You take the Ignite to get aggressive in the 1v1, and is going to put a lot of pressure on him to play this matchup well. So much of this matchup is about timing the parry with the passive auto attack, from Aatrox there, that bonus damage, and timing your taunts very well, because if you mistime the taunt, you can get queued out of it with the sweep spot or pulled back in by the chain, and that can be devastating. So we're going to see how aggressively Bwipo wants to play this. If you get chained up, is he taunting in instead of away to dodge those first 2 sweet spots and look for a kill?
I am so ready for this rematch from the upper bracket. It went a full 5 games previously. Evil Geniuses versus Team Liquid, Game 1 here for who gets the spot in the finals.
We'll see a quick scrap in the top side. That 5-game series were the only games EG won against TL all year. The 2022 record is 8-2 in favor of Team Liquid. EG, for the most part, have not had a snowball's chance in hell, but we'll see if they can turn it around here.
And it's so interesting seeing these 2 top laners, very, very clearly, Impact is so aware of what Shen wants to do. They're fighting over the placement of the Keyblade. Bwipo is actually trying to put the Keyblade up far in the lane so that he can get the early pull-through at level 1.
Movement.
Impact was fighting him for it, trying to harass him with that.
I'm going to trade back and forth right now with the Q and the shield and a grasp as well. That auto's going to look pretty good. Impact will have more sustain in the lane. Obviously, just has Omni-Vamp in general from level 2 onwards, but Bwipo getting the better of the beginning of this.
Exactly, and Bwipo doing a good job too, working around the cooldowns. Seeing the early Qs come out from Impact, knowing there's nothing left. Oh, he got the extra attack speed.
Yeah.
He got every one of the empowered autos. Shen, baby.
We gotta fight, though. We gotta fight. Hansama gonna be slowed down. Q would stun, but the minions are in the way. Hellfire lead. CoreJJ trades back in, lands a bit.
And in these all-ins, you have to remember that Hansama has been forced to take cleanse because of the Twisted Fate coming from mid lane. So you are basically down an extra combat summoner. In this exchange, it was heal from Danny for the Ignite from CoreJJ.
Ignite a bit of a shorter cooldown by, I think it's about 30 seconds. So we'll see if that ends up mattering as time moves on. Quick early word. Good job by Bjergsen getting the early push. 10 CS to 9 as the lane equalizes again. It will push towards the Corki, so they'll have to fight over that.
It's also interesting seeing Santorin, pathing down towards bot, not playing up towards Bwipo. Generally you're not expecting Nocturne to look for pre-6 ganks, but if Bwipo is going to get really aggressive, you do still have to pay respect to the fact that Nocturne can go for those wraparound plays.
And since he has taken Ignite too, you have to be quite careful with pushing the wave in.
Yeah.
So you see Bwipo immediately trying to hard push this wave, make sure it bounces off the turret, it will reset against, so he does not have to worry about, missing out on the teleport summoner spell. And I actually really like taking the Ignite as the Shen in this matchup. Because of the cutting of the healing, when Aatrox does get access to his ultimate, you can threaten that 1v1 while also still threatening the bottom lane plays.
Bot lane's pretty chill right now. CS lead for Team Liquid side, but there are still minions to farm. Santorin gonna have no problem getting the bottom scuttle here. Pretty equal farm for both sides. Krug's gonna be claimed no problem here on the Nocturne side. Inspired just generally trying to rush towards that 6 minutes and change level 6. Pretty full clear. Sadly, not going to find a scuttle for himself. And with bot pressure the way it is, I mean, you can try, but junglers
dive. He just flag and dragged in, but
they're going to see each other. This is fearful. He can do a lot here. Santorin actually could have been chased, maybe. I think he didn't know what cooldowns were missing, but Santorin would have lost a couple hundred health there.
Yeah, he absolutely wasn't sure that the flag and drag was down. They didn't actually have a ward in try to see that. If that was spotted, he could have punished him much more heavily. And now they're just trying to harass here under tower. This airy.
Oh my word! First blood's in. The Q snipe comes across. Team Liquid already off to a lane kingdom.
It's pure skill shots from the bottom lane of Team Liquid. CoreJJ and Hansama both landing there under tower. No heal left for Danny, and he is down.
Oh man, dying with that pushing wave is so brutal there for EG. Hans is going to have a monstrous buy off of this base. Danny down very low. The heal wasn't there, and he just gets the QE pull through with the airy proc. One feather to the side. Danny tries to move over to the edge to farm this up. But when you put yourself between the tower and that wall, there's just no way to actually dodge the skill shots as you step forward to CS.
Yeah, CoreJJ hitting that loyalty program, getting that slow on him. Huge stuff here from the Team Liquid side, from the veterans. And this is one thing you look out as well in the big stadium. You watch, especially in the first game, our players a little bit more timid to committing to some all-ins. You know, who is going to be able to react to some of these skill shots and this poke? And Team Liquid off to an early start for the players with the extra experience.
I mean, you just compare the buys now between Jinx and Hans. Hans is so far ahead here with this rated Dirk, the tier on top. His buy is very, very powerful, and he's going to be ready to scrap.
Yeah, I mean, also the real punch to the gut is the minion wave loss that you mentioned. You know, that extra experience of all the minions dying at tower while you got killed.
Now dealing more damage down here. Vulcan is going to let himself take it and then just regen back over the thick skin. But yeah, Team Liquid so far just going to have constant pressure to the bot lane. I expect him to get a dragon for too long.
Yeah, exactly. And up on the top side, it's actually a bit concerning for Bwipo. You know, off camera, he was losing a lot of trades after the early push here. He had to actually base to match the base from Impact, but because he's not playing TP, his wave was actually pushing away from him. So Impact, in fact, you know, going to end up ahead as he has more minions to farm. Double Ruby standard early buy here for Bwipo. It allows you to kind of go really in any direction. You have multiple mythic options. You can go towards Titanic early. So really kind of keeping the options open. But if you want to play heavily through sides, I do like Titanic Rush a lot on Shen. It can give you a lot of early and mid-game scrapping power here as Inspired sneaking into the brush.
Another decent hit right here. It's going to be walked out of everything else. But yeah, level 6 means he's got the move speed. He's got a good chance at Bwipo here. Is he going to find the rest of the damage he needs, though? Ultimately, no. Ultimate down for approximately nothing. Bwipo might have to take a better recall. We'll see what the regen looks like.
And because of the teleport discrepancy that you mentioned, once Bwipo does hit level 6, then EG know that they can't pull off this bottom lane play. So that's why they went for this timing you just saw on screen. Inspired goes for a possible lane gank here into the brush with the control ward. They're trying to squeeze out something just before the timing of Bwipo hitting that level 6. Now that he is level 6, they know he's got access to that minion wave. They call off the play, they back out. They know that Shen will be able to come and Aatrox will not.
It is getting a bit tough, though, for Bwipo. You know, you always have to be nervous. You're low HP. You know, Inspired's going to hit 6 here very soon. If he passes up towards top and you can get a kill on this guy under tower with no TP, it is incredibly punishing. You know, Ignite really is high risk, high reward. If you're not dominating the lane, you're just straight up falling behind by not having teleport.
And the strategy for Impact is to constantly harass and push in the Shen. So then, even if Shen does teleport away with a Stand United, you can get turret plates. You can deny minion experience on the tower. And you can even, as you're saying, call your jungler to focus the source of that global and really remove that extra advantage if you can keep him low health under the tower. Because Inspired now is also level 6, and the Nocturne ultimate available for one of these EG plays. And again, this team is looking to retake that gold lead early.
Oh, both teams moving top, actually. You see Nocturne and TF in the river. Bjergsen has moved up here as well. So Bjergsen's actually going to cover top, and Bwipo very likely going to make a move towards mid to catch that wave. So they're trying to just make sure that they're not actually giving up minions and plates for free. But with that interrupt, yeah, EG, start up the Herald. This has been spotted, though. Bjergsen could TP out, and Shen does have Stand United. So they can potentially challenge here if they really want.
These delaying of backs is so important. And that's when you hear casters always talking about tempo and timing advantages here. If you can interrupt those recalls when you're going back to base, that's where you get objective victories like this. So Impact hitting that chain, searching around, fishing around, trying to stall Bwipo as he resets there, and Inspired is rewarded with the Rift Herald.
And you can take a look at the gold overall, the FTX total gold graph on the side. Yes, on Sama is the farthest ahead thanks to the first blood, but the actual gold difference across these teams is 100. When you consider it's 500 plus for the first blood that early on, like EG are just landing a lot better. 25 CS for Impact in the top lane, and they've got the first Herald as well.
Except for bottom lane.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying the overall game is close for the 500 gold first blood. That is a very strong laning phase from the solos.
Yep, absolutely. They are looking really, really good thus far, and it's definitely a bit of a concern there. Bwipo, did of course cover mid. Bjergsen moves top to cover that, so they're not giving up plates. He picks up a little bit of farm, down towards mid, but Impact is waiting for him now. Does he have the timing on the taunt? He does. Taunt's out of the chain, so should be fine, but in comes Jojo.
Walks right out of it, flash back under the tower. I don't think they have a kill credit at this point, so he's going to be safe, but that is the dodge. Ready to go back into this one, and Nocturne's recalling, and TF's walking mid, baby. No kill to be seen. A flash away from Bwipo, but game one resumes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they want to make that first play with the Nocturne here soon. But it has been a really good bit of pressure here. And it is a bit concerning, even just confidence-wise, when you are going into a matchup like this, when you have counterpick and it's going bad for you early, the stress can start to mount.
Yeah, as a theoretical discussion too, because I've seen so many best of fives and stadium gameplay tournaments start this way. Just as a theoretical, if you are doing champ select for the first game, and first series where your team is in front of this giant crowd, can you even anticipate the possibility of hesitation early on and a little bit of a warm-up for teams getting into it to be able to commit to plays like this? If you draft a team comp like this that does have to commit and does have so many early possibilities and early tools, that can be something worth taking into account when you really do have a little bit of a time crunch.
No, it's a really good point, right? It's an interesting question. Like, should you be drafting around the fact that players may be playing a little bit more safe in game one? This is something that you see, across all games, across all regions, is that often people come out, they play a little bit more hesitant as they're kind of getting used to this new environment, then they start to build confidence throughout the series and kind of play more like themselves. TL threatening down on that bottom side here. They're going to go for the dive.
Go for it. Here we go. Taunts through. Health marker of the Lucas. Dots on down, but the sweet spot lands and kills. Tastes like what you want.
Yeah,
now on the bot side.
Oh.
Yeah, get a bit of a slow there. Santorin will have to jump over the wall if he needs to, but honestly, 3v2, you can't take much of a fight there on EG's side.
And they pop the Rift Herald on top side as well, so they're working through it. Bjergsen's trying to get there to pick up the remnants on top side and push Impact off the tower while the rest of Team Liquid try and get their ramifications on bottom side. 3 turret plates worked off by hand. Santorin coming for the extra jungle pressure.
So 600 gold game right now. Again, TL's bot lane absolutely crushing it. EG playing through the top side. They blind picked the Aatrox. Bwipo went for the Shen to, lose as gracefully as he can, but the man is down 40 CS in a tower, and here comes the first play on Jojopyun. He's going to flash to safety, but still stays in range of the Shen. That flash does nothing, and Bwipo gets his revenge.
Yep, vengeance for Bwipo. They make a global play on him, and he answers right back with Bjergsen. Now, they would have loved to get that actual kill credit onto Bjergsen to fund this Corki, because 2-item Corki is what you're looking to play off of for Team Liquid. This whole draft is around the Xayah and the Corki getting their poke damage up and operational with 2-item power spikes. But it's a very good proactive play. You have package for the super long range dash and the Bwipo stand united. They know they'll be able to secure it. You just get right next to them, and even though Jojo flashes there, upon arrival, easy answer from Bwipo.
And it was just really good positioning from Bjergsen. As he positioned himself, on the side that Jojo would have to run to. So even though Jojo flashes, he just makes it from one side of the character to the other, still in range of the Shen. Bjergsen not even having to spend his flash to reposition there. was really nicely done. And that's exactly what you want to do as a Shen when you're losing lane. Don't get locked in the 1v1. You still need to make proactive plays because proactive uses of your ultimate are much more consistent than when you're doing it defensively. Oftentimes when you're doing it defensively, the opponents just disengage. But when you're the one starting the fight, you pick that fight, you take your moment, and you punish the enemy team.
Yeah, so I would say if you're looking at the goals of these two teams,
they're trying to dive.
Team Liquid, so far, much better at accomplishing them in the early stages.
A lot of people in there.
3 members, 4 members now circling. That's a dead man walking.
Run,
EP up for Bjergsen, but can he get away? Of course, they can burn the turret down as well if they really want to. Play around the top maybe a little bit. They're going to put the attacks on. They'll get excited for it. He's going to run away, and poor Bwipo has nowhere to hide. Dodge zone buys a few seconds, but they're going to get kill number 2 on the board. Bwipo just being assassinated in the top lane.
And that's a critical kill for Danny to get him back into this game, get him that tower gold. He's around for it, and he gets the kill. He's pushing up here to the tower, tier 2 tower as well. But TL trading plates mid, taking down the tower bot. They're getting a lot here too.
And I want to mention that those turret plates for Team Liquid, yes, Bwipo goes down in addition to the entire turret on top side, but the money is still going where Team Liquid want it. See if Danny can.
Xayah means the damage and will not be feared. He presses it in time. He's not going to land with the fear. And here we go, the engage for the Aatrox. Pushes the flash away, a little bit too late. And impact, straight up solo kills Hansama through 2 summoner spells. And he's going to eat Santorin next. The man is hungry here in the lower bracket final.
And they're not done yet. CoreJJ gets gold carded. He flashes under turret, but Phreak is duped.
4v1, this man's not gonna live. Who's gonna get the credit? Jojopyun finds his first kill of the matchup. EG wants some excitement and they're gonna get it. Danny's running away for his life. Bwipo cannot do what Impact did. Instead, Impact wants kills on the other side of the map, goes for another rotation to safety.
The evil geniuses have been unleashed, opening up with an explosive couple of plays here. Now 2,000 gold in the lead.
I mean, that series of plays started with a 4-man dive top, ended with a 4-man dive bot. Meanwhile, not only did Danny get that first kill top, he took the full tier 2 solo gold on the Jinx for that, survives while Hans blows his thumbs and dies on bot side, so that does a lot to try to get him back in this game and caught up with that gold.
King Impact. Impact, the member for EG to accrue the biggest lead so far in this game, and he takes the initiative to roam down to bottom side, pops the ultimate, gets number 1, number 2, and number 3. All 3 sweet spots, and that is 3 extra explosions on top of Xayah's head, chasing the extra ones down here. It is just a huge resurgence here for EG, who were slow to wake up.
And it was so critical for him to hit those sweet spots to actually buy time for the Infernal Chains to snap him back, because Hans couldn't create enough space. So even when he does flash, he's still in that chain. He gets pulled back, he goes down. Now they're taking a second Herald here. EG off to the races, and off of these couple plays here, you have to think they're growing in confidence. Gonna be looking for the next aggressive move here very shortly, as their cooldowns will have been coming back up during these replays.
And you mentioned top lane tier 2 was taking damage. It did indeed get crushed. So Danny, you can see they're now 4th place in gold.
Okay, now, next order of business for EG is to push out on bottom side of the map, try and get the next secondary outer turret off the map here, so they can have both sides of the map threatened here, with Jojopyun's ultimate and Inspired's ultimate both ready to pull off the next global pick.
And it's going to be really interesting to see if it is a scrap at this next dragon, because, you know, TL already got the 2 early dragons here that has been traded for heralds on the other side. EG have accrued a gold lead, and are they confident with that to try to fight for it? The other option is TL can just give that up and try to trade it for gold of their own to utilize the scaling advantages that they have drafted for.
And the question is, how much gold can EG get before that dragon spawns? Because they want to pressure the entire map here.
Tower.
Everybody rotating down to bottom side. As you can see on the mini-map, Team Liquid are being traded the top side.
They want tier 2.
This is going to be something that Team Liquid will lose in a race because of the Rift Herald, though. Rift Herald pushes always have to be answered, because then you will be able to push on secondary turret, while Bjergsen is going to be laid on top side. So EG have the power play with Rift Herald.
You can see this turret take a lot of its health down right now. There's enough wave clear with Bwipo threatening the top. They can't do a whole lot more with it. Still some alone time for Bjergsen in the top lane. Means he will crush top lane outer.
They've checked that box, though. Gold number 2. Outer turret number 2 off of the map. So now can they make a pick?
They're going to look now at the Corki. No way out. Easy set up a crowd control and just cannot live. 4 kills for Impact.
I love this play. Inspired uses the ultimate to deny the stand united there from Shen. Even though he's cross-map, that's such an intelligent play, not allowing Bwipo to bail Bjergsen out of that tough situation. EG continuing to make it work.
Exactly, that was my test. How quick can you click your stand united for Bwipo? It's so hard because you have to have your mouse over the person that you want to stand united on. You don't have a big window there with the Nocturne ultimate, and EG, they take advantage of spreading the map. Exactly what they have to do in this now 2 minutes between the next dragon spawn.
And the thing is, you've got a mind read as well, because you can Nocturne ult, then TF, and it's like, is it Bjergsen? Because no one's on his screen right now. Oh, it's Bjergsen. How is it supposed to know? Do I have a time stone? You don't.
Exactly. I mean, Nocturne wasn't even ulting in, right? He's farming camp spot side, so you can't really call where the Nocturne is in that situation. But TL going to have to be on point when they're playing through sides because of all these multiple globals that they have here. But 145 until this next dragon, that is going to be a big inflection point in this game.
Also want to point out that's why for Inspired, for the Nocturnes, especially pro play, you always rush the cooldown reduction components first. You know, in addition to the Lucidity boots, went immediately for that Kindle gem after completion of the Stride Breaker. So, as we mentioned, the timer between dragons is the window for EG. Try and push out the minion waves, both sides, make your pick. They have invested the extra teleport there to get back to mid lane afterwards for Jojo, so he's used his spellbook to switch back over to heal, but they still have the extra answer. Since Impact also has his, that means you can still push out top side and bottom side, and then look for the next cooldown here. Inspired's ultimate already a go.
It's also interesting to note, Bjergsen, again, going for the more AD-focused build. You know, people have been somewhat critical of this. A lot of people play that poke build still, but he has not been going the Ludens. Even back months ago, he was playing shield bow. He's playing these more on-hit styles. It is higher sustained DPS, but you do lose out on some of the oomph with the rockets.
Yeah, I think that they are worried about not having time to sit and poke.
Yep.
Because EG have guaranteed engage. They've got double globals. They've got a flank from Impact that will be coming your way. This should be immediate engage from EG, and so he's trying to cover those bets.
And he's hitting 3 high health champions, right? Like, you can see the build right now. Inspired's going towards what looks like Warmog second, actually. Like, he's going to be a very good Divine Sunder target, all things considered. Now, Hansama going to be the target here. Not quite pulled back. Impact, plenty tanky, and the ult's going to get very little done. Inspired just pops a spell shield, and it's going to be just fine on that one.
Yeah, Impact is chunked out, but he has TP still available. Bwipo is pushing top, you know, does have to stand united, but again, Inspired can look for that play, shut off the lights, not allow him to actually join here, and TL now trying to walk in. If they fight for this, this is such an important part of the game. Package is available, and he's TPing in.
Package, TP, and this would be 3rd dragon for TL. EG don't want to give it up, but can they really separate this fight? How far back can they push Bjergsen? Vulcan gonna now show up there as well over the wall. Not gonna get locked down by Santorin. Another midway's pushed in. Do EG still stay for the dragon? They're gonna have Bjergsen go and take the wave, and that means Steel has to go to the river yet again. But as long as the wave is gone, it's gonna be okay. Now, can you wait out a full minute for Package? That seems pretty unlikely, but EG are playing it slow.
Danny's going to be the target. Package and stand united ready.
flanking.
Look at Bjergsen.
There it is. They can't bring in Shen anymore. They're going to go in for the dive. Will it be enough in time? Huge damage to the backline. The redive comes in. Jojopyun versus Zonius, and now Shen can arrive. Feathers pull off back, and TF is down. And this could be the fight that they need. TL get 1 for nothing. Looking for a second now. Vulcan dangerously low, pops the shield, walks away. The taunt's going to land, and Impact just gets flattened. 700 gold. Bwipo gets payback.
Team Liquid get their Dragon Soul points, and they get their money back. Critically, Azael, the extra shutdown money is going very, very far. Team Liquid, post 21.5 minutes, their scaling is going through the roof now.
That is such a big deal. They're pushing themselves to Soul Point. You can see it again. Danny was getting poked out pretty heavily prior to this fight. Bjergsen had great positioning on the side because you can't engage on this guy with the package. He packages back towards his team, putting this line in the sand that EG cannot go across, and then collapses onto Jojo, who they focus down.
Just such a good peeling option here from Bjergsen. He does not use it aggressively to dive. He uses it to cut off this small window that EG have the advantage where they can jump to your back line. And it's just really good team communication from the veterans on Team Liquid. They know they've got the upper hand in scaling. They've got the upper hand in dragon stacking. All they have to do is defend the offensive EG play. Bjergsen does that for the team. Then Bwipo comes in for the chase. And now it is TL in control of game number 1.
Looking pretty good. Technically down in goal, but it does feel like they've got the pressure overall. I mean, the team fights have looked really, really good. See if EG can keep the game split up again, because, again, these are not as good of team fighters. Jarvan and Corki both are better team fighters than Nocturne and TF, so split maps what EG needs.
And it's a good point you bring up on the gold graph. You know, sometimes the scoreboard can lie to you based on what champions, you know, have been accrued by the teams. And Team Liquid now, all they have to do is look towards 3.5 minutes.
And with the second Muramana about to actually tick over here, Bjergsen is about to complete his. Hansama has now completed his. These guys are on really big power spikes. It was, in fact, Anathema's chains from Inspired, which is actually put onto Bjergsen. So they're very likely going to be focusing Bjergsen, trying to utilize that reduced tenacity that he will have, the longer CC, lock this guy down, burst him down, because Hans has been really hard to actually get onto with the cleanse, and the Xayah ultimate has been equal to the test.
Yeah, the actual Anathemas is a key part of it, and I love this item because of the offensive capabilities of it. You mentioned increasing you know, tenacity reduction on your target, and since Bjergsen doesn't have the cleanse, he will get CC'd forever. Impact, though, on the way out.
CoreJJ spotted by a ward, ultimately knows he's as well. His sweeper saw the control ward, so he's like, never mind, not a play for me. Impact does walk away safely enough as Danny and Inspire kind of trade some farms. Santorin's going to easily flag and drag away. And we are 2.5 minutes away from Mountain Soul for TL. And if you were worried about them not getting bursted before, it's going to be a lot easier to 5 that now.
Yeah, and we're going to keep our eyes again this time around on Bjergsen's positioning, because as we say, with the Anathemas on him, both Fear and the gold card stun from Twisted Fate will get increased by that. And so as long as he uses his range on Corki and uses defensive packages like we just saw, Team Liquid should be able to set up the front lines to peel.
And that's why it is critical that, you know, Jojo got the rapid fire at this point, because they can look to use that S2 to engage, fish for gold cards on these carries from TL, try to force out cooldowns, try to force out, you know, little bits of poke and damage with that. Because TL for now feels like they are cruising. That last fight was so important for EG. It didn't go their way. They're going to have another chance here in 1:45. But if you lose that, it's hard to see this composition that is so much relying on upfront bursts to really be able to take them down.
And it's worth pointing out, too, that a lot of the areas that Team Liquid spent their gold are in direct counters here. You know, Phreak mentioned the more defensive Divine Sunder there for Bjergsen, being able to work through high health stacking targets. They also have Locket of the Iron Solari there for CoreJJ to defend against this window of the dive opportunities of EG. And so, again, while they do have a 1,000 gold lead here still for EG, and they have the possibilities of pulling off picks, the importance of them picking off a member that is sectioned away from the rest of the Team Liquid team has just gone through the roof. They need to make that pick first before they can really retake control of this game. Team Liquid have just stacked up so many answers here in the first 25 minutes.
And it's so hard to find those picks if you're not able to do it before Dragon, because once they're grouped up around that pit, you're having to engage through the Renata ultimate. And yes, it's slow. You can sidestep it, but then you're being zoned out of that fight that entire time. So it can become pretty difficult. IE has been completed for Danny, so he is on a really big spike right now. And at a good time to fight, but they need this next fight. It is paramount to their chances in this game.
Yeah, I was going to say, nothing happening since the previous Dragon kind of favors TL as they're getting these items across. RFC done on the Corki, 3 items everywhere, ready to go. Just about, not for package though, keep in mind, right, it should still be that 6-minute timer difference. So I believe, doesn't have it. I'll just kind of double check that I'm not trolling.
He's
okay, just kidding.
It, so
I guess it's the exact timer, it's 5 minutes.
Guess,
yeah, he picked it up early enough, so he's going to have the package for this one. And I mean, that's everything they need. I feel like TL feels so favored in this team fight. And Bjergsen could play for the midway if he can get over there really, really fast. And EG, can they find that first pick? Every single summoner is up. Danny's on 3 headers. Maybe they can frontline for him. But
look at Core's positioning. He could try to ult over the wall here potentially.
Oh, huge route. Jojo has to get ulted back to safety. Vulcan going to walk up a bit. Santorin's just fine. Bjergsen plenty healthy.
And Tahm Kench ultimate is actually one of the biggest cooldowns here for EG. Now no TK ultimate at all for this Dragon. The critical Mountain Drake.
Impact over the wall, no one in the brush, walk up again, try to find the next play. Bjergsen holding on a package, will time out relatively soon, but he engages on impact, flash to safety, Nocturne in, the ulti's pretty good, it locks him down for a while, Aatrox gone, Smite, rushing it down, will it happen? It's claimed, Inspired, stops the worst from happening, Bwipo fakes the taunt flash, gets one out of Dan.
They're gonna go Baron.
Rocket's not bad though, good damage.
Yeah, that is such a big fight. I mean, they get the kill, they do lose the Dragon, but they're going to go straight to Baron here. Santorin is very low. There's Honeyfruit over by the Baron, though. They're pinging onto it. He's actually just going to smite the Raptors and heal up because he has 2 charges of the smite, and they're going to try to force EG into a team fight here. And now there's 0 ultimates on the 4 members up from EG.
EG have 4 members, and Inspired has Flash. There's a chance that he can get over to the backside of Baron and
look at
flash
Santorin.
in.
It's just a bait. He's going to be the one peeling, actually. Looks for the first one. Vulcan spotted. The flash knockup's going to land on a Jojopyun. And here's Shen to show up as well. Jojo flash to safety. Bwipo still has his flash. He has his flash. Danny flashed away last time. Bwipo made sure to count it. That man is as wide as the earth. Takes another kill. And Inspired forced to run away.
Team Liquid with full control of the Baron area. Inspired, as long as he has his life though, and Nocturne ultimate, there is a hope. There is a small flickering candle of hope for evil geniuses. Can Inspired pull off a miracle? His smite cooldown is not even up right now, actually.
They don't know that. There might be respect required. 3K helping the Baron. Smites up in 2 seconds, and they peel it. They buy the time. Engage comes in. Good damage. No, it's still low at 3K. Frontline damage on Sama. Gonna stay alive. Finds one. Ton of time bought by Santorin. There's gonna spike. CoreJJ taking shots from the Baron, but no kills just yet. Good at impact. Santorin's 1 hit from dead, but Bwipo takes it well enough. The rocket. Is it gonna land? What's he gonna get? And it's gonna be a goose egg. A rampage for Hansama. EG come up with nothing.
Team Liquid are gonna wrap it up now. Vulcan is the hope for EG. Danny's on his way. There's so many low health members, but Team Liquid,
wants to buy time for Danny. 2v5 is possible. I mean, you're not gonna start the Baron, but you might get a team fight. He's gonna shoot. You're kidding me! Santorin fights early. Kill number 1. Here comes kill number 2. Danny's in for number 3. For 4. The king of Pentakill. Oh my God! You gotta be kidding me!
Was not Danny with the most incredible play I have seen. Stolen Baron, 2v5 Penta. Kobe, can you believe it?
The 18-year-old from Honolulu, baby! Danny saves the game for EG! Baron and a Penta, are you insane?
Well, they're going to go for the base. The respawn timers come before too long. 15 seconds, the important ones. It's going to be at least the inhibitor. Hansama's up in 4. Core's already alive. Nothing but the inhib. But obviously a huge play. So much just done right then.
What can you say about this kid? How many pentas does he have? He's been in the league for a year and a half. He just seems to rack them up with ease. You saw him, Tahm talking about that Tristana play from last year's playoffs. Now, this is the new hotness. He just one-upped himself.
Danny is a pentakill machine, and this is even adding a Baron steal on top of it. The smite got Baron to 155 health. Danny got it with a rocket, and he doesn't miss a beat.
Did regen, yeah.
He immediately goes in, he dodges out on the taunt, he keeps his spacing here with Jinx, he picks up every single member.
Yeah,
I have never before seen a single player have that big of an impact on a game.
That was unreal.
That one single play is some of the biggest stuff I've ever seen. And from the 2021 Rookie of the Year, Danny, this kid is going places.
Right there. Oh my God, that was just unreal. I mean, this game was over, and now EG 5K up. They are pressing here. Danny, 5 items plus the stopwatch, and his summoners are back because he didn't need them for the Penta.
We cannot stop talking about this because this kid now has 2 of the most impressive pentakills of all time in the LCS.
Easily.
The Tristana one
and
this one. It was not a fluke. He manufactures them.
And they're both to save his team in clutch playoff games. Like, the narrative is always like, oh, can new players hold up in you know, the high pressure situations? He gets better with pressure. The man's a diamond, but put him in the LCS, and he's gonna master everybody. And here we go, gonna push down the bottom inhibitor, and he's gonna challenge for the Nexus now as well. Get out, Santorin! Get out, Bjergsen! What is a king to a god right now? Because Danny is about to rule the LCS. Believe in him, because he will do it all by himself. Bwipo forced away. Guardian Angel down. The Chompers are in. It's time for the turret number 2.
Evil geniuses are gonna clean it up. They get Santorin. They're gonna get the Nexus, baby.
Would you believe it? Danny puts the team on his back, and he's gonna carry him through to game 1. 1-0 EG, 2 more to go.
Just like that. Where were you when Danny had the Baron steal, the 2v5 Penta
in
on
Houston,
your feet, Houston?
Texas, baby. eSports going to fare under the pressure of our biggest crowd? How are they going to fare under pressure, Azael?
Pretty damn well.
Yeah.
That's the report card so far.
Evil Geniuses went all in on young North American talent, and they have been rewarded so heavily. What a crazy success story. Actually cannot write a better play than that.
If you wrote that play, I would tell you it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that play. That's unrealistic. That doesn't work.
Oh my God.
We just saw it.
Even just getting the Baron with the rocket is one of those crazy plays you see once every few hundred games.
Yeah.
And then following up with the pentakill and instantly ending the game with it. Actually crazy stuff here. For that to happen in game one in a best of 5 series, Team Liquid now, those veterans, their mental really will be tested because they have not had that happen to them before. They've been playing a long time, and stealing the Baron into a pentakill and losing the game where you had the scaling advantage. You were on the precipice of getting that
It's crazy. And I mean, we saw when TL actually lost to 100 Thieves, after they picked red side and they lost on red side, they defaulted then to actually swapping, kind of giving up on some of their prep, going blue side. That didn't work for them either. They went red side here. They had 5th pick here for Bwipo. He went Ignite Shen. Didn't really work out. I think he was more effective in the later stages, but laning phase did not look good for them. And now you have to wonder, like, do they just throw that away and say that's a fluke at Baron, or do they start to really change things again?
I just want to remind everybody of how that game started because that went from 0 to 100 real quick.
To 1,000.
It was so calm. They were so trepid for the early stages, and you could see them kind of warming up and getting into it, not committing to the jungle face-off. You know, they each saw each other, instant back-off, not committing to any early global plays. But when that hits, man, it really hits.
My heart is racing, man. That was a game.
Yeah, and it's good to see him step up because, I mean, keep in mind that game actually started with